Welcome to the Porn Reboot podcast, where you get practical tips to gaining control over your porn or sex addiction. We help ambitious men end their out-of-control sexual behavior with pornography, sex, and masturbation so that you can maximize your life, perform at your potential, and remain in control in the driver's seat, which is where you have to be in order to gain or maintain the success you want in life. I'm your host, J.K. Amazi, certified sex and porn addiction recovery coach. Welcome to the episode.
Today we're going to talk about how success doesn't protect you from self-sabotage. And when you get to the top of your career, or at least in the top 10%, there's this very dangerous illusion that occurs. You become so successful and so good at what you're doing, you tell yourself this lie. If I was truly compromised by my out-of-control behavior with pornography, then it would actually show up in my life. But that's not always true. See, a high-functioning man can operate at 80% for a very long time. And for a very long time, I mean years. And because your revenue is still growing, you assume that everything is fine. But here's the hidden cost of that 80%. You need more stimuli to feel engaged. You need more pressure to feel motivated, and you're going to have to experience more of a sense of urgency to feel alive. What does this do? Well, all this does is that it escalates your risky behavior. So all those little things you used to do to escape, whether it was like, you know what, I'm just going to go to the bathroom and jerk off. In the middle of the day, I'm going to take a masturbation or porn break. That becomes a habit. It stops becoming something you used to do to take the edge off for years, but it becomes something you do all the time. And the danger is you don't realize, because you're moving so fast, that this habit is deeply ingrained. When nobody calls you out about something, let's say you have a problem like picking your nose. You pick your nose in private and you just automatically, you're like, oh, somebody came in, not going to pick my nose. But it's your private habit. I know it's like a weird thing to point out. But after a while, you end up realizing that you've been picking your nose for years. And then let's say your wife catches you one day and you become a little lax. I don't know why I'm using this example, but your nose picking habit just keeps getting worse and worse. And then when your wife starts pointing it out, you realize you can't stop. And then you become annoyed at her. Why? Because you like picking your nose. It's not something you think about. And now you have to think about it, but it's problematic for your wife. Those micro behaviors become your habits. And here's the problem with habits that shouldn't be in your life. They create tension in your identity. So what happens is you start splitting. This always happens. In the public, you're excellent. In private, you start trying to fucking compromise. You cannot be in the public, you're just like perfect. But in private, you're like, oh my God, I got to figure this stuff out. Eventually, so here's what happens when that public excellence and that private compromise, the tension between it hangs out for a very long time. The cognitive load that you begin to experience begins to damage your creativity. That damaged creativity is going to affect you if you are working in a time of crises. And right now, a lot of the clients I work with, whether they are loan mortgage officers, CEOs, or business owners, almost all of them are dealing with a very challenging time. And at the time of my recording this, it's about March 2026. There's a lot of uncertainty. A lot of people's clients are like holding back because we are living in an uncertain economic time. So people are not spending as much as they usually do. You need to be creative. But instead of having the energy to channel into your creativity, you're busy trying to manage the person you are in public and the fact that you have this behavior on the back end that's compromising everything you've built. So here's the model that I use with my clients. Your success does not eliminate weakness. Your success on your balance sheet, materially, it does not remove those private weaknesses. It only amplifies it. Resources remove friction, and friction is often what keeps your behavior in check. So to fix this, you don't need to remove success. You just need to restore some of your internal guardrails that you had years ago, but you probably lost. So basically, you need to have structured boundaries with your internal state. You need to really protect it. Then you also need to have predictable constraints. You need to be able to know when to pull back. That means if you understand that, hey, a very busy season is coming, I'm going to be working long weekends, I'm going to be working into the night, I'm going to be doing XYZ, you need to be able to predict that and manage your behavior before that busy season begins. You also need to be able to measure your reset. When I say measuring your reset, it simply means that there are certain times when you need to step back. So in my case right now, I'm in a push season, which means I'm working like crazy. I'm putting in a lot of hours. I've got some really big goals, but I've already planned my resets for the first week of April. I already know that I pushed really hard through March, and I'm going to need at least 5 days for resets. Fly out to the villa. I'm still going to work a little bit, but the reset is going to be to rejuvenate, sit down, and plan the next quarter. We teach our high-performing clients how to do this when they have spent years struggling with a compulsive behavior. You might think it's overkill, but if you think it's overkill, it's because you underestimate what it takes to end this behavior. Yes, your brain will rewire in 1.5 to 2 years, but during that time, you need all of these things. You need those structured boundaries. You need to be able to have predictable constraints, and you need to be able to measure and plan your periodic resets to allow your brain to rewire itself. And when those are installed, all those patterns of self-sabotage you have, like, why do I keep doing this? They lose their fuel, and something powerful happens. Your success begins to feel clean again. And you and I know it's been a long time since your success felt clean. Clean success is so much lighter, and lighter men move faster.
I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Porn Reboot podcast. I'll speak to you later on in the week. If you found this episode helpful, here are 4 ways I can help you with your out-of-control sexual behavior for free. The first way is to grab a free copy of my book, Confessions of a Porn Addict, 7 Secrets of Porn-Free Men at elevatedrecovery.org, or visit the link in the description below this episode. The second way is, if you're not sure where to start, but you'd like to learn more about my team and I, if you'd like to spend time with like-minded professionals and business owners who are controlling their behavior, then join our free and confidential group, the Porn Reboot group on Facebook. There's a link to join in the description below this episode. The third way is, if you need help right now because you have a burning issue, your behavior with pornography is hurting you mentally or emotionally, you're about to lose your relationship, you want to live up to your potential, be an authentic man, and free yourself from shame, guilt, and underachieving, then click on the link in the description below this episode that says free coaching call. And the fourth way is to leave us a 5-star review if you enjoy this podcast, so that we can reach more men who are struggling in silence and bring back the lessons we learn from coaching them to freedom.